Final part, number 3. So we'd left off. He heard laughter in the distance. He didn't realise he'd been so long in the factory, feeling sorry for himself. He didn't realise the time. It was the Christmas Eve run, and they all moaned about it after all that breakfast, as the last thing you want to do was run around. However, once they started, they all agreed they loved it, to run on that crisp white snow, which was so beautiful. And while they were running around, they would talk about things and would generally end up laughing about something funny. The deer was so fed up this day. It was not turning out to be the day he thought. At all, he had everything his way, and yet he felt miserable, and he didn't know why. I'll go and see the boss. He might know what's wrong with me. Yes, I'll do that. He trotted off to his house. He wasn't there. He then trotted to the factory. He wasn't there. Where would he be? Oh, I know, thought the deer. He'll be checking his list before going. He always checks that on Christmas Eve. He went to the big door at the back of the factory and pushed the doors open with his nose. Sure enough, there he was, checking his list. Excuse me, may I talk to you, please? Yes, of course. What's the matter? I think there's something wrong with me. I have the day off and I should be happy, and yet I feel utterly miserable. It doesn't make sense. I've no appetite. Let me think, the kindly gentleman said, stroking his beard. No appetite, you say? No, I couldn't even face breakfast at all. Do you know why? So you went in the hall as usual? Yes. And your friends, how did they greet you? They weren't nasty to you, were they? No. Perhaps it would have been better if they were. Why? Well, I'd let them down, hadn't I? And they'll have to work harder than ever before, so I must have felt guilty. That's it. That's it, isn't it? I'm feeling like this because I feel guilty. Can I work tonight, please? Of course you can. Go and find your friends. I think you'll have your appetite for dinner. Yes, I think I will. Oh, I feel myself again. I'm sorry for being selfish. Thank you. Dasher ran out of the door to catch up with his friends. Prancer, Cupid, Donner, Comet, Vixen, Blitzen, Dancer, he called. Wait for me. Wait a minute, said Wily, the barn owl. So your friend is Father Christmas, and Dasher was one of the reindeer pull the sleigh? Yes, said the mighty oak. Gary was amazed. He had to see who was telling this story. Who was a friend of Father Christmas? He looked through a notch in the fence where there was a little hole. There was hundreds of animals, but where are the children? I love that story, Mighty Oak. I loved it. Whoops! Sammy had got so excited he accidentally swung all the way round. They all chuckled. Gary rubbed his eyes. The animals were talking to a tree. Did you enjoy the story, my little friend? There was a gentle tap on Gary's shoulder. It was a branch of the tree. Gary was not a bit scared, and all he felt was love from the tree. Yes, thank you, sir. Gary turned around and slid down the fence. Wow, there really is magic. Suddenly, he looked at his mummy and Megan, and he felt so much love for them. Oh dear, I was acting like Dasher and being selfish. I was only thinking about myself. It's not Mummy's fault. I must go and tell her. He jumped up quickly, turned around and called through the hole in the fence. Thank you, tree. Happy Christmas, and all of you animals too. They all shouted back. Happy Christmas, Gary. Gary ran as fast as his little legs would take him. Mummy, there is magic, there really is. I'm sorry, Mummy, I love you. He threw his arms around his mummy. Just then, as they were hugging, Megan said, It's snowing, Mummy. It can't be, it's not even forecast. Then Mummy stopped mid-sentence. Gary, it is snowing and it's getting heavier all the time. Come on, we'd better get home, my babies. They started to walk towards the gate. Gary saw first, through the thick snowfall. He recognized that shape that was walking towards them. Yes, he was sure, even through the thick snow. Mummy, it's Daddy, it's Daddy. There, in his uniform, carrying a large rucksack, it was indeed their Daddy, home for Christmas. As Gary ran towards his father, he shouted, "There really is magic." The end.